Just the sheer amount of strength that this animal exhibits is really humbling.
This is like a lost world, home to some of the biggest sharks on Earth.
I know that bites are the result of rare, unfortunate mistakes.
These are really, really strong animals. And we're pulling them in by hand. Oh, that's a big shark.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, you don't even have to be in the water.
My soul left my body.
It's the ultimate man versus shark challenge. As I put my own body to the test.
He did ask if he was going to die, and I said, not on my watch.
The first camera tag was just put on a baby white shark in their New York nursery area.
Wow, you saw that?
Hello, everyone. My name is Heather Hurt with the NRW, where nerds rule the world. And today I am with Dr. Diva Amon. Hopefully I said that right. I'm terrible with names. I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much, Heather. I am so excited to be here.
Awesome. You are a National Geographic explorer and deep sea marine biologist.
Yeah.
It's too many amazing words all in one. You are also hosting the up-and-coming Shark Attack 360, which is set to premiere on Disney Plus and Hulu on July 2nd. I'm saying it like you didn't know it, but you are amazing, and that is what you are doing. Let's talk about the most basic question in the room: why shark bites, and what is the science behind shark bites so important? Why is it so important?
You know, I feel like, so let me start again. I was obsessed with sharks when I was little, right? Obsessed. And I grew up watching shark shows. And back then, I mean, this is like 30 years ago, right? The shark shows back then, they weren't so great. There certainly wasn't much science behind them, and there certainly wasn't much conservation behind them. And I think they did a lot to really lead us to where we are now, in that most of the public has this really negative perception of sharks, unfortunately. And so Shark Attack 360, which, as you said, comes out next week, and all of the Sharkfest programming on Nat Geo and Disney Plus and Hulu are really moving us towards a different place, trying to transform that relationship that the average person has with sharks. And so one of the ways in which we wanted to approach this was through shark bites, right? It's the mechanism by which most of the population hears about sharks, because the media loves to report on shark bites. And so we wanted to take shark bites and essentially look for different clues, use scientific evidence, use personal accounts to really unravel mysteries behind sharks' behavior, and essentially try to understand why this has potentially happened. And as we find time and time again in the show, is often that this was not, sharks don't necessarily target humans, and this was often a case of mistaken identity. And of course, it's visually stunning. It uses incredible technology and imagery and experience of a team of international experts. And it's just an awesome ride, and please watch it.
Yes. So let's talk about the technology for a second. The way that the visual effects are played is it's supposed to be incredibly interactive. How was that done? Were you in a green screen or something like that?
That is such a great question, because you know what? I looked at the finished product and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, there I am standing in the lab, the Shark 360 lab, and I am surrounded by a massive great white shark, a tiger shark, a hammerhead. Like, it was just a bull, it's great. And it's so amazing to get the perspective of like my size versus many of these incredible animal sizes. But anyway, filming was a totally different ball game. It was basically me on my own in this very empty space. I literally had to like imagine that all of these animals, these incredible animals, and all of these scientific clues that we're using, etc., are there. So as a scientist, I almost had to like become a bit of an actor, right? Because you're having to pretend that all of these things are around you. We did have a green screen behind us. And if you'll notice, like, my hair right now is out and very curly, but in the show, it's like scraped back. And that was all to allow for the green screen and the VFX to be put in as quickly and as efficiently as possible, right? So there's all these little steps that we had to take to make this whole process come together. But yeah, green screen and some incredible imagery that has been put in, and we have virtual effects that have been put in, and it's led to just this beautiful looking final product.
It is. It's very interesting. And watching those sharks around you, it's so much fun. I'm a huge shark fan, so watching the tiger shark, and I was just like, woo, so cool.
Like I'd have to be like, for some of it, we did have a screen that I was able to look at to see the shark swim in front of me on the screen, but not actually next to me. And I just was like, I'd have to stop, be like, guys, sorry, we need to stop. I just need to take like a selfie of this moment with like, see this actual like shark here with me. It just, yeah, it was mind blowing. And you know, the graphics are so good. It's great.
Absolutely. You've been a marine biologist for a couple of minutes, just a little while. What was something that you learned while you were doing this? What was a surprising fact for you?
Great question. And I will say that, like, honestly, because at the end of the day, yes, I'm a marine biologist, but I am not, like, I'm joined by so many experts on this show, several per episode, and they are the real shark experts in the room. Yeah, I know a lot about the ocean, and I know a lot about the deep sea. And of course, there are sharks that live in the deep sea, and I love sharks, but I don't dedicate my life to sharks like many of the experts I'm joined by. And so I was so grateful to have all of their knowledge and build on that. But, you know, in terms of things I learned new and exciting facts every single episode, but some of the best, I'll at least say the real winner of an episode for me it wasn't just the one I got to go diving with actual sharks in. So of course I was one of my favorites for that reason, but it was also because the episode focuses on sand tiger sharks. They're like the most common ones you see in aquariums. They've got the really like snaggly teeth that look kind of fearsome, but actually are just a bit lazy, really. And in that episode, man, sand tigers like knock it out the park. They are so weird. First of all, I learned that they go to the ocean surface and they actually gulp air, right? Like they gulp air, and they do that so that they can fill their stomachs with air and then go back down close to the bottom, as you'll see in the show. And then they use that air inside of them to essentially just allow them to hover just above the seafloor. And so it's essentially like this really lazy or really essentially efficient way of living, right? In that they have to use very little energy, very little to keep themselves hanging there, and they barely move. They're just super slow, super chill. It was great. The other thing I learned about sand tigers, because once you get me started, you're just going to get a whole reel of things, is sand tigers have this incredibly strange reproductive strategy where they have a number of babies within their uterus. And just like a normal shark, except the strongest baby, right? Or one of the strongest babies, often then goes around eating inside the uterus, eats all the other babies inside the uterus. So basically eats all of its siblings, right? Which is crazy and weird. And so it eats all of its siblings, and that then allows it to grow essentially big and strong as possible, right? It's called intrauterine cannibalism. And it allows it to grow big and strong. So by the time it comes out into the real world and the mother gives birth, it is as strong and resilient as possible and has the best chance of survival. The other name for it, hilariously, other than intrauterine cannibalism, is adelphophagy, which essentially means eating one's brother.
You know, I'm sure there's a lot of sisters who probably would be happy to do that. So,
but no, and that's just one example. The show is filled with incredible shark facts. We learn so much because of the VFX. We're We're able to go inside of their bodies and examine so many different things, from their teeth to their uterus. There's just so much to learn. And really, that's how every episode in this series goes.
Absolutely. And it's wonderful. It's so much fun. If there's one thing that you could debunk to the audience, what would that one thing be?
That is such an easy one. It would be that sharks are animals that we should be fearing, that shark bites are common, shark attacks are common. They are absolutely not. We do not have to worry about sharks. The chance of someone being bitten by a shark is so minuscule. You have a higher chance of being bitten by a human. You have a higher chance of dying from falling into a hole on the beach. You have a higher chance of dying taking a selfie. And we all take selfies often, right? So this is ultimately, we need to change our relationship with sharks. We need to coexist with them. If you've been in the ocean, it is likely that there has been a shark nearby, but the shark has things to do. We have things to do. Everyone has to get on with their lives. That's the kind of relationship that we should have with sharks. And more than that, we need to do as much as we can to conserve them, because we are making sharks' lives pretty difficult at the moment, and we need them.
Beautiful. Wonderfully said. Dr. Amon, thank you so much for your time today. National Geographic Shark Attack 360 is set to premiere on Disney Plus and Hulu on July 2nd. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. It was lovely to meet you, and have a great day also.